Today's rant is about something that I care deeply about. How deeply the NBA protects their referees! You know, I've had an issue with the referees ever since Tim Donaghy back in 2006. No surprise there. He actually cheated, unlike most refs. Now, I'll play devil's advocate for some of this rant, but mostly this is just gonna be me getting back at those dirty refs for being dirty. Yeah, yeah, that sounded like I was 5 years old, right? I don't care. Because you know what? I'm sick and tired of the NBA referees. First of all, the NBA referees have a tendency to call for the team that has more stars. You know, like the Lakers, who did lose. So, yeah, Jarek, you're wrong. The Celtics, Jarek, you're wrong. They got eliminated. And I'm not gonna make the same point that Jarek the Arab Dragon made in his video saying, oh, the refs picked the team with the bigger market. The refs have nothing to do with the market, Jarek. The refs have nothing to do with the market. The refs can't be biased. Their job is to be unbiased and call it from their focal point. I almost said their visual point. Their focal point. You know, their point of focus. Anyway. So you saying at all that the refs fixed games or that the refs purposefully called stuff on Portland because of the market is ridiculous. I know this is from a while ago, but it's been frustrating me. So that's my devil's advocate. So that's kind of my half good side, half bad side. Now I'm going to go devil's advocate all the way and say, and repeat exactly what I said. Refs cannot be biased because they have this thing called the rule book that states that they have to call things fairly. Now, they can have a bad viewpoint, a bad view of the play, and there can be bad calls, but I don't think they purposefully call stuff on a team like Dallas, on a team like Portland, because Dallas has a bigger market or has more players or has better players. No. They don't do that. They don't do that. Not at all. Also, with the exception of Tim Donaghy, refs cannot bet on games. They can't bet on games. They can't fix games. They can't make wagers on games because it's in that rule book. Yes, this is, rule book, It's in the rule book, and it basically says you can't make wagers on games if you're a ref. That's why Tim Donaghy got stripped of his job as a referee and sent to jail. Now, to my bashing on the referees. Now, it's no surprise that the NBA overly protects their referees. They've done that for years. But it's also very surprising the amount of idiocy that is surrounded by the NBA referees, such as, only calling on completely missing calls on stars. Like, say, if LeBron shifts his feet in the zone, and, Paul Pierce or Ray Allen is running down the middle, shifts his feet in the zone, falls back. Instead of calling a blocking foul, they call the charge. See, missing calls is bad, but when the call is right out in front of you and you just blatantly miss it, then I have to get angry, especially if it's because you don't want to get on the Stars' bad side. Just look at Reggie Miller. New York referees got on Miller's butt that every series in New York because they don't want Reggie Miller getting the benefit of possibly winning. Yes, I just contradicted myself. Well, ouch. I know. I didn't get comments for that. Another thing is that overprotection of the referees, such as when Portland Trailblazers coach Nate McMillan criticized the referees and got fined $35,000 for it. That's ridiculous. No one should get fired. Fined. Fined. Sorry, I was thinking of Donald Trump. Fined for criticizing the referees on making horrible calls. Because that just proves the NBA overly protects their referees. Also, the press can't criticize the referees, or they'll have to issue a formal apology to the NBA and the refs council basically saying, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry, can you please forgive me? Oh my gosh. We don't need to forgive the refs for making stupid decisions and making stupid calls. You know what we need to do? We need to mask the NBA for what it is. A whole business centered around overly protecting the referees and not giving enough power to the players and the coaches. I'm not saying get rid of the rules. I want there to be rules. But you know what? The coaches should be respected by the refs just as the refs are respected by the coaches. Which, you know, and players for that matter. I don't feel like players should throw the ball at referees or, you know, take their shirt off after they get ejected. Sorry. One last thing. To all you Laker fans. Ha! Now, I was rooting for the Lakers, but I started to give up on them. Because I'm a Suns fan, through and through. And an OKC Thunder fan, so... But, you know, the thing that frustrates me is what Andrew Bynum did was totally Bush League. He got ejected for it. And the same thing happened with Lamar Odom. I feel bad for Kobe because he has one of the most immature, overrated centers and one of the most overly emotional and out-of-it forwards in the league with him right now. Bynum and Odom are not to be trusted. The Lakers are done. Phil's going to retire. The Lakers and the Celtics are not going to have... are just not going to have this rivalry anymore. And maybe later, in later years they might, but it just doesn't look like it. Well, guess I should say this. And to Jarek the Arab Dragon, ha!